Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing really well. Today we'll be doing this super cool toned like rockstar girlfriend makeup look. I'll also be sharing some of my makeup kind of tips and tricks and stuff along the way, so tune in for that. If you want to see how I did this, keep watching and yeah, we'll jump right into it. Let's get started. I'm going to be doing a cool toned makeup look because I've done lots of warm tones in the past and just trying something different, so we're learning together today. I am going to take I actually have no idea what this is, L'Oreal brow gel. All the marking's rubbed off but it looks like this. I'm just going to run that through my brow area, kind of focusing towards the ends because that's where it's more sparse. Now that that's kind of, I've got a bit of a shape, I'm going to go in with my pencil, the Maybelline Express Brow Ultra Slim Pencil in, what are you in? Deep brown. Looks like that. So I'm just going to be focusing on the outer tail and also just like right in the front there. So I'll just be filling in some sort of sparse areas and defining the shape. But now you kind of have a whole shape. So I'm just going to repeat that on the second eye. So I'm going to use, to carve out my brows, the NARS Pot Concealer. This is in the shade Vanilla. This is, I saw everybody using this and I was like, oh yeah, whatever, it's a concealer. This is the best thing. All my winter shades, so I've been using it a lot more recently. Super long wearing, super great coverage. It's great on top of makeup, underneath makeup, all around great product. So I'm just going to take this little flat brush. This is the Morphe M410 brush. I'm just going to dip into that concealer and just kind of trace underneath my brows. I don't usually carve out my brows every day. That's a lie. I never carve out my brows for everyday like makeup, but this is like when I want it to be crisp and, you know, full glam. I will carve out my brows. Gosh, that's very defined. Okay, I'm going to carve out my other brow and then I'll be back. To set my brows, I use the MCoBeauty Miracle Flawless Pressed Powder. This, I think, is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder. And this is probably my 4th or 5th little powder. And as you can see, love it very much. And I've got another spare sitting up in the top of the cupboard because I buy it every time it's on sale. So good. It's great as a setting powder. It's great as a finishing powder. I take this with me when I'm going out and a little brush and I touch up throughout the day, night, whatever. Love this. Holy crap. So I'm going to try a bit of a smoky grey Rockstar's Girlfriend sort of a vibe. And I'm going to be using the Smoky palette from the Beauty Bay. I'm going to go into Mountain, which is this shade right here. And I'm going to take it on my packer brush and I'm going to pack that all on the lid. So I've got hooded eyes, so I'm going to pack it all on my lid and I'm only just going to take it up just a little bit because I want to have blending room. And I'm also going to shape it in kind of the shape I want, so I'm kind of going for like a cat eye sort of a vibe. And my best advice with makeup, any type of makeup, any step, any product, any whatever, is just sit down and experiment, because that's what got me into makeup and that's how you learn new things and you try new techniques and you learn what works for your face and such like that. I'm going to take the shade Marble up here on my fluffy brush. I'm just going to dip in, tap off the excess and lightly blend out that shape I created. Another tip that I can't remember who I landed off, but blending brushes especially, hold it towards the end of the brush so you have great range of motion, because if you're holding it right here, it's kind of hard to just like blend easily. So hold it far back and like a pen, I hold mine like pencils and just softly start blending that out. Okay, we've got our general shape. So what am I gonna do now? I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna, because with our blending we lost some of that initial color, so I'm gonna go back in with my packer brush, pack it in, then go in with my blendy shade blend it out, just intensify it. And don't worry if it looks like you've been punched in the face, because we'll fix that up later. I want to elongate my eyes, so I don't want to bring the blending in too far here, because if I look down, I got very hooded eyes right there. So I want to focus the colour on the outside of my eyelid, and this is where practice comes in, because you'll learn how to change your eye shape, learn what works for you, learn what looks you like, and you can change the placement of the colour. That I'm going to grab a little pencil brush. This is the Morphe M431. I'm going to grab Stormy, which is this one right up here, and I'm going to concentrate that on the outer third of my eye and kind of start creating a bit of depth. And then taking a smaller fluffy brush, this is a Morphe M506, super tiny, I'm just going to go in and buff out those edges. Super light hand, because I don't really want to move too much of the colour that's underneath that. I'm just trying to deepen up. Always add more, you can never take away. So step by step, little by little, just smudging, blending, smudging, blending, smudging, blending. I'm going to take that same pointer brush and I'm going to go into the shade Onyx, which is down here. It's not quite black, but it's pretty dark. When I'm doing dark looks like this, I like to build up to the darkness, if that makes sense, because then I can blend with the colours that's already underneath it, and I'm not trying to blend the black out. Like I said, you can always add more, you can never take away. So just going in right, concentrated, super on the lash line, and going back in with the small blending brush and blending that out. So what I've done is just gone back and forth and back and forth, applying colour, blending, applying colour, blending, applying colour, blending, and just getting the shape and the intensity that I want. I'm going to grab a tiny pack brush, Morphe M124 brush, and I'm going to take this light grey, it's called Clouds, in the palette, and just pack it onto that brush like so. I'm going to focus this on the inner corner. Don't want to white necessarily, I just want a bit of brightness in that inner corner, but still like in the grey family. I don't want to take it too far in, I want to keep it really in the inner corner, because I don't want to take away from the colour that we first deposited, the very first colour. Right, love it. Micellar water, and clean up under my eyes. I'm going to spot conceal with the same NARS concealer that we used to carve out our brows. I'm going to use a Morphe M173 concealer brush. Dip right in there. A tip that I learned, that if you want more coverage with your concealer, concentrate it on the area that you want to. Right? Love it. And then try not to blend the center of where you've put the concealer. So if you want the most coverage in the center of the concealer, just blend around it, so there's no harsh edges, but you still get the most coverage in the center of where you put that concealer. And also, to make your concealer more full coverage, let it sit and kind of set and get tacky, and that will make it more full coverage. So I'm just going to let these sit for a few minutes while they dry down. While we're letting it sit, I'm just going to explain how my brain works. This is a very full coverage, very thick consistency of a concealer. So in my mind, you go thickest to thinnest consistencies. So if you're pre-concealing like this, even though you can use this concealer on top of foundation, it'll be fine. I put this first because it's a thicker consistency, then you go in with foundation and then concealer over the top. I usually conceal spots first so that you don't have to use a huge buildup of foundation. It doesn't look cakey. Sometimes if you just go straight in with foundation, you have some spots you want to cover up, you have to put another layer on, that can wear throughout the day and also can get cakey and whatever. So pre-concealing, I put a thin layer of a very full coverage concealer, and then I'll go over the top with a foundation, and even though there's 2 layers on, it won't be 3 or 4 if you're going to do foundation alone. Also, when I'm doing foundation, I won't go anywhere near underneath my eyes. I'll probably stop around this area. Blend it, of course, but then when you're using your under eye concealer, you won't, again, have more layers than you actually need. Also, another thing, you kind of want to let your products dry on your face, especially when you're moving from liquid products to powder products, because then it kind of will set itself. Most products have a setting agent in them, and it will stop it from moving around, clinging onto other products, because you've placed this product, like the concealer, very specifically in specific spots that you want it, and you're going to let it dry, 1 because of coverage, and 2 because you want it to stay where you've put it. You don't want to put your foundation on and it just moves it, because like we've wasted product and it's not doing the job. But like I said, take everything I say with a grain of salt and just practice on your own face and your own skin type and what kind of look that you like and you're after. And also, products wear differently on different people and different skins, so you know, I can tell you to do one thing and then you do it and it doesn't work for you, and that's fine. That being said, for foundation today, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible 38 Hour Fresh Wear. This is in shade 015, neutral undertones. About 1 pump, half a pump. Then I'm going to take a condensed brush, see how it's very compact. I'm going to take one of these. This is a Morphe M439. And the way the brushes work, this is a packer brush, much like our eyeshadow brush that we used earlier. It's short and it's tightly compact, like this brush. And this is for placing colour and placing it where you want it. Brushes like this, which is way fluffier, and also something like this, and something like this, is more of a blending brush, and that's for blending out products. So we're going to take our packer brush. I'm going to take that and pack it. Tap it in. All of your face products, and a lot of what you probably saw with me doing my eyes, you want to pack the foundation. Pack the product. So that means you're placing it exactly where you want it. And if you swipe, see here, let me swipe. You're going to get streaks. I don't know if you can see that. But packing and patting kind of is nicer for the product. It sits nicer on your face. And also you don't want to wipe away that concealer that we put down before. Also make sure you go into your hairline and down your neck. So, next step, kind of up to you what happens next. Your bronzer and your blush and then your concealer, which I think is what I'm going to do. Or you can do concealer, then bronzer, then blush. Because this is quite a dark eye, I want quite a bright under eye. So I'm going to do concealer last. So I'm going to go in with blush first. This is the MCoBeauty Off Duty blush stick in the shade Sorbet. So I'm going to take this big fluffy, it's kind of a bit dense, but still fluffy on the edges, kind of tapered, okay? I don't know how to describe it. So I'm going to take that, rub it around in the product, get some product in the brush. And then with the light hand, I'm going to tap it and concentrate it where I want it the most, and then we're going to blend. So you can look up blush placements for face shapes and everything like that, but I want an elongated look. So I'm going to go high on the cheekbones and around here. I'm just going to tap very lightly. Tap, tap, tap. And then lighter hand, blend it down onto my cheek and also up into my hair and up a bit here. So I'm next going in with my bronzer. I'm using the MECCA Max Off Duty Contour Stick in the shade Medium. Use a MECCA Max brush, dense but yet fluffy. This is a flush angled brush. Say that 5 times fast. And see how I'm blending upwards? And again, tapping, no swiping, swiping, no swiping. I need a better cool toned contour. This is a bit bronzy for this look, but you live and you learn. So under my eyes for concealer, I'm going to use the Natasha Denona concealer in N2. This is such a good concealer, so good. I used to use the NARS Creamy Radiant, whatever it's called, also good. But this is like, the coverage is amazing. It doesn't really oxidize, just beautiful. Right under my eyes and just a little bit here. I'm also going to take the Revolution Beauty Conceal and Define Full Coverage Concealer in the lightest shade. I think this is number 1. I'm going to take that and pop it, if there's any left in the bottle, in there under my eyes to just brighten it up. And again, like I said earlier, I'm gonna let that set and sit for a while. To blend out my concealer, if you haven't noticed, I'm a brush girl to blend things. I use a sponge sometimes, but that's only if I feel like it's caking in areas and I feel like I need to pick up some product. But most of the time, I'm a brush girl. So I'm going to use the Morphe, what is this? Oh wait, no, I lie. Zoeva, I think that's how you say it. Can't remember how to pronounce it. Petite Defined Buffer Brush. I think it's 117. It's just a tiny little angled packer brush. I'm going to take that on the edge and just blend out the edges. Taking it down like that to blend out that blush. And then I'm going to take it up into my eye. Not into my eye, but you know what I mean. Blending out that. There's a few ways I do powder. If I'm in a rush, I just do a loose powder with a brush, dust it under my eyes, off you go. Sometimes I do this powder, this pressed powder on a brush, gentle pat, then bake. But today we're going to do super full coverage, super brightening, glam sort of a way. So I'm going to take my, what is this called? Powder puff. And I'm going to get a good amount on there. Then I'm going to take my brush that I blended out my concealer with, and I'm going to squint so you can see your under eyes. I'm just going to tap out the creasing. And then keeping your face like this, because you don't want the concealer to settle back in. We're going to go in with our powder puff and pat in the powder and set. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our loose powder, which of course is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder. I don't know if you can see, I cut out the little net thing so I can get in there and get my powder, but I digress. We're going to pick up some of the powder on our powder puff, and then we're just going to pat off the excess on our lid, and also it's kind of putting it into the powder puff and evenly dispersing it into the powder puff. And then we're going to bake. So concentrating on the inner corner, I'm going to go down and I'm going to go out. So in, down, out. Go in with more of that powder if you feel you need to. I don't love a harsh line over here, so I'm just going to blend that just a smidge. And then we're going to let that set. I'm going to set under my nose too, and around my mouth with the excess that's on the powder puff. Oh, by the way, this is the pink one. What is this? Cherry Blossom Cake? Cherry Blossom Cake, the pink one. Take a fluffy powder brush. This is the Morphe M527 brush. Dip it in the powder and just kind of set the rest of my face. I don't really set up near where I put my bronzer because I'll be bronzing with a powder, but just kind of on my cheeks where I don't have any other products. And also, I am not one of those girls that likes the super glass skin Charlotte Tilbury flawless filter, whatever the hell, even though I have it. I've tried it, it doesn't work. I am a matte / satin finish girly. I should have said that at the start, because if that's not you, you're in the wrong place. Now that that's done, powder, products for our bronzer and our blush. I'm going to use the Revolution, what is this, blush palette, this shade here. I'm going to take a fluffy, angled fluffy brush. This is the Morphe E4 brush. I'm just gonna tap into that, tap off the excess, and just concentrate it right there near my hairline and blend up and down. I place a lot of product with my cream product and you can still kind of see it, but what I'm trying to do is make it a diffused color and not so much of a line that is there right now. So blending it up into my hairline and making it just kind of like a soft shape, if that makes sense. Okay, for blush, I'm going to use the Revolution blush. This is the Neo Pink blush on an angled fluffy brush. This is the M405 from Morphe. I'm just gonna pack that on, get some colour, tap off. And with a very, 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 very light hand, I'm just gonna dust it on the tops of my cheekbones and then blend it down. I want to deepen that up just a smidgy, just a little bit. And I'm actually just want to use this product. I got the NYX Professional Makeup Buttermelt Blush. This is the shade My Butter Half. I'm just going to take that right at the top here and just lightly dust it, just to make it a bit cooler and also deepen the colour just a little like that. I'm going to go back in for highlighter with the Revolution palette, and I'm going to mix these two shades. Fluffy small highlighter brush. I'm just going to do that, tap off the excess and just concentrate it. While I'm here, I'm going to take the Rare Beauty highlight. This is in the shade Enlighten, this pale shade. A small packer brush, this is the Morphe M224. I'm just going to dip the tip of the brush in there, and I'm going to just highlight my brow bone just a little bit. Should I glitter this look? Maybe I will. Maybe a bit of glitter. We'll see at the end. For eyeliner, where is it? The Rimmel Scandal Eyes Intense Black eyeliner pencil. I'm just going to line my top lash line and my waterline, and I'll be right back because no one wants to watch me do that. I'm doing glitter. So, what we're going to do, we're going to take this Stila Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadow in the shade Diamond Dust, and I'm just going to pat that, and then I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to take it up so you can kind of see it in the brow bone. Oh my god, that was the best decision ever. Now we're going to move on to lips. Finally got my hands on the Rimmel Cappuccino. Let's try it. I'm going to start on my bottom lip and just line my lips. Just going to draw a line and then blend in the sides. That is a beautiful colour. I'm going to take my concealer. I haven't yet found a lipstick shade that's a cool toned concealer lip. I found a warm tone. That's not what we're doing today. I'm just going to take my concealer that I use. This is the Natasha Denona. Lighten it. This is Revolution. That's pretty. I'm taking this gloss. Pretty. This is the Maybelline Superstay Vinyl Ink Gloss in 95 Captivated. I did my lips and I've completely forgotten mascara. This is the Thin Lizzy Max Lash Fiber Lash Mascara. This was a gift, so I don't know where you can buy it, but pretty good mascara. Just kind of packing that on and getting more of like a chunky spidery lash since we're not doing falsies. Right, I think we're done. Okay guys, I hope everyone enjoyed this video and I hope you learned some things. Really want to bring back the 2016 makeup tutorial vibes, so that's what today was about. Like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll leave all of my socials and every product I used in the comments below and the description, so you can go check them out. And yeah, have a beautiful day. Bye.